don't think it happened like that, but it was kind of based on a true story. There are people every single day doing the same exact things or doing something similar to take care of their family members and their loved ones. Meanwhile, we got people who won't do nothing for themselves, won't do nothing for their loved ones, and still complaining about VTO at Amazon.
What are you doing today that makes you better than the person you were yesterday? That is part of the Ascension brand. That is the motto, the heart of what we stand for. When I pass away, I want people to know. I want people to remember me. Not for the time that I spent on this planet, but for the things that I have done to contribute to society. My mama raised a loser, but I broke the chains. I wasn't made to be a player, I was made to build a game.
Alrighty, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Dirty Trunk Podcast with the elephant as always. Welcome. It is me, your boy Marcus Morton. Always here with me is the Aaron Mack, and we're back in the lab once again at 4:18 a.m. on this lovely Saturday morning. But before we get started, please trample over that like and subscribe button. We do this for y'all because we love y'all, and we just want to give y'all the motivation to be better than y'all were yesterday. How are we doing, Mac?
We blew 10 minutes already.
Blew 10 minutes. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
They said time fly when you once you get older and have kids, but I didn't. Man, somebody said something recently, and they were like, "Time flies because we are." In a nutshell, I can't remember exactly what they said, but they said time flies because we are, like psychologically, we are moving from one situation to another situation. So one moment to another moment. And like every time that we are on that journey to the next moment, we forget about the little the insignificant details in between the two moments, which is the reason time flies, because your brain is omitting all of the insignificant or bad times that you've had in between the times that you actually lived.
Oh.
And I was like, yo, that's deep. I didn't even think of that. And it made me reflect on myself, because I'm always saying that I don't really care about the journey. My only goal is to reach the destination. And when you have a mentality like that, like I feel that like I had to be reminded a lot of the little insignificant moments in between the big things that I actually talk about as memories.
Okay. And that is pretty wild, because it's, I believe everyone has had that moment where they've gotten so invested in, like you said, situations that years have passed them by, and when they get hit with that realization, like it's like a shock, like, oh my god, like, where has my time gone, or where has
Yeah.
the time gone? And then they look at their kids, or family around them, and they see that you know uh they've grown up, or they don't have as much time with that person left, because like you said, those little moments have been seen as insignificant, or it just passed them by and they didn't think nothing of it. So I feel that. Yeah. That's why
But yeah, man, how you been doing, man?
I've been doing pretty good. We're getting into like the not really heavier seasons of work, but it's coming down pretty heavy. But other than that, man, just trying to get get out, put in
The
my time at
inevitable,
the
get your
job.
ass out and walk because it's warm outside and the sun shining.
Facts. So we've been doing that, playing that tit for tat game, trying to put a little time here and put a little time on my own thing, and just going back and forth with that. So yeah. What about yourself, man?
I mean, it's pretty much the same over here. Like, though I got a deadline that I got to reach, I had to push back the release date of the book because I knew for a fact that in my current state, I wasn't going to put out a quality product because I didn't have enough time to actually work on the joint. And it's wild because it had I not started this job, and had I been doing what I said I was going to do from the first start, from the jump, like I would have already been there. I listened back to an older episode of the podcast. I said I was going to be done with the book in February. And because I've been worried about corporate America's BS, I had to push the due date of the book back multiple times. And just knowing that, like, I ain't necessarily happy about myself. Like, I don't enjoy that because, like, I've been putting it out into the universe that I was gonna finish this project, and I've been putting it on the back burner, and I can't do that at my job. Like, you can't do that at work. So why am I doing it to myself?
Yeah. And it's funny you say that, right? Because that's almost every job, right? Every job has this production or production goal or something that you have to reach, or that they have to reach, or like they start making cuts to make that goal, right? And we see that everywhere. But like when it comes to our own thing, it's like we'll make the cuts, but it won't be to get the goal done. It's to prolong the goal, to make that journey a little bit longer. And that's wild. Yeah. It's interesting how we see we have the blueprint of how to be successful, or how a job or how production is supposed to work. But like when it comes to us actually doing it ourselves for something that may or may not bring, something in, because that's our mindset. It may or may not bring this success in. We put it off, or we shut it down, or we postpone. I feel that.
You say, "Oh, I got time."
We were just talking about that time.
After I do this, then once this gets done, once the kids are,
blown the coop, yeah. Oh
yeah.
man, that's the killer right there.
Once summertime get here, as soon as I'm on spring break, once so and so get here, once such and such get out of jail.
Oh, hello.
Yeah. So I mean, it's a lot of different excuses that people use, or I wouldn't even say they're excuses, because they really do believe that. And I've been in those situations where I was, waiting on something to happen, or waiting till the perfect moment to happen, because I knew that I was supposed to take such and such a person with me. But we've all been there. But one thing that I had to learn was that there is no perfect moments. Because if there was some perfect moments, then we would have. We would have already been there already. Like, it just, like, if every moment was perfect, like it would have already been done. Like, the book would have already been written. It wouldn't have came out wrong in the beginning. Gem State Siege would have been a bestseller by now. I mean, There's no such thing as perfect moments. The time to start something, they said what is that saying that the time to plant a tree is not tomorrow, is right now. Don't worry about the fact that a tree ain't there. If you want a tree there, plant it right now. Don't wait until tomorrow. Well,
Yeah.
no, the time to plant a tree was 100 years ago. I think they said.
Oh, okay. Yeah. Because then it would already be here, and then like you had all this time, but you worried about it, or you done psyched yourself out of it. And
So plant the seed now, folks.
yeah, yeah. It, it's it's wild how people have it'll be like people have the seeds in their hands, and and I've been in that situation. Mac has been in that situation. You know, everybody around you has been in that situation where doubt set in, and you know you didn't plan it. And I know you feel now that you're whatever age that it's too late to plant it, but it's never too late to start that, to plant that seed. If you feel strongly in your heart that you have that golden Willy Wonka ticket, that $1 million idea, that plan, that service, whatever that's going to change the world, do that. Because if you don't do it, no one will ever do it. There is
That's true.
we just watched the I think it was the last episode of Good Doctor, and not gonna spoil it, but there was a line in there where they said it's not about the one life you touch. If you touch one life, you actually touch millions and trillions of lives, because that one life touched another life and so forth. They have a family, that their family gets taught the teachings that you touched, and then it's like a domino effect. Once you put good out there, good returns and multiplies and multiplies and multiplies. But in order to get there, to touch a life, you need to plant that seed, bear fruit, and spread it amongst the world. You know.
Man, huh. I don't even know how many times we can talk about this though. Like just had this same conversation, and I mean, I guess like the more you meet people, the more things become apparent. The wider your eyes open, the more your third eye appears on your forehead. Um, I guess this conversation continually changes because this conversation isn't the same as the conversation that we had when we were still both working at Amazon. It's a little bit different now. Like it things are a lot different in 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 the perspective that we have already been we've already decided to make something move for ourselves. So like I just want to caution people out there, like as we talked about the whole the whole time thing, man. Don't waste it. Don't waste time, man. Cause like I mean I ain't gonna lie to y'all, man. Like I've spent time doing random mundane things, like um playing video games for way too long, watching Netflix for way too long. Like y'all know I'm a wrestling fiend. Like I love WWE, and I could turn WWE on and like because I don't get the chance to watch it live. Like I'll find myself watching every single episode of a WWE programming that comes on in a week. like SmackDown, NXT, Raw. Like that's 7 hours of content, bro. And like I'll find myself watching that stuff like back to back. Like I'll be doing something in the meantime. Like it'll be playing in the background. Like I'll just be like, oh snap! Like and then I'll be going back to what I'm doing. But like at the same time, like that split focus thing, man, it comes into play here, bro. So like time is of the essence, man. It is. Like I'm tired of hearing about people who feel like they stuck in life, but they ain't got no habits of successful people.
Hmm. Okay.
And like you don't even know what the habits of the successful people are. You never even looked it up. You never read a book about it. You don't know anybody that's successful. Your best friend is somebody who has a different phone number every few days because they don't know how to manage their money or keep a steady income. I'm I'm tripping because like it's so many people in the environment that we're in, and you know, not necessarily the environment that I'm in right now, but I I can remember people, and I'm thinking about people who I used to work with, especially people who are at Amazon, because you know they still on the Amazon Facebook group, and I still see some of the posts that they post, and I'm like, bruh, it's been 6 years. Like, why are we still having that same conversation, dog?
Yeah.
Like, why are we still complaining about the same exact thing year over year? Like fiscal year, you every fiscal year you complaining about the same thing. So, man, it's it's more than just like the wasting time doing mundane things. Like I really need y'all to understand. Like you got to look at your life and like your entire life in this full perspective. And you know, maybe some of y'all don't even want to be wildly famous or wildly successful. Me on personally, I don't care to be wildly famous, but I just need to be wildly successful. Like whatever that looks like, however that comes, that's my goal. Wildly successful. If I happen to get wildly famous in the process, so be it. But you know, people can't spot George R. R. Martin out of a crowd either.
Hmm.
Like 80% of Game of Thrones fans, they can't spot George R. R. Martin out of a crowd. Like I do, I can because you know I kind of idolize his work and his trajectory, his path, and what he has achieved. So I'm going to follow that. But um, I can't say things like I can't wait until Amara is 18 years old to start working on that. I can't. Like I'm gonna put her through hell. I'm gonna put my wife through hell trying to get there. I know that already. My wife knows that already. We have talked about this multiple times. And in the perfect world, we would be able to just hold off where we at because we're stable. You know, we talked about that last on the last episode, security and stability. If we are looking for security and stability, then there's nothing that I could do right now that would jeopardize that wouldn't jeopardize that security and stability. But my why is a lot bigger than my stability. My why is a lot bigger than my security.
And I feel like people need to get to the point where that is like that is their motivational factor. Because when you don't look at it like that, when you look at it as a hobby or as a thing you can do on the side, a side hustle, even, you know, like you said, that timepiece, we look at it as is insignificant because it's not stability. It's not security. It's something that's scary. It's something that we have to have those uncomfortable conversations with our significant other, with ourselves even, to get it done. And people ain't ready for that. People are scared of that. People don't want to address the problems that they have, or the lack of whatever that they're missing to be successful. And all it takes is that one step. You know, it took Mac 10 years, to 10 plus years, 15, 16 years to get the book off the ground. And we've seen that it can make money. We've seen that, making video games can make money. We've seen that uh uh, uh playing the piano, creating art, making comics, uh, all this can make you money and be wildly successful. But we don't pursue it because that first hurdle, is so large. But like once you get over it, everything comes so easy. Once you get past that first, you're like, it took me this long to do this. It took me this long of hiding, of making excuses, of being fearful for this. And then you just start getting into your bag, just knocking it out, knocking it out. Oh, it took me this long to learn this. Now I got it down packed. Now on to the next thing, and on to the next thing. But it's like that one stop. It either pushes people to go forward, or it makes people stop. They hit that brick wall, and some people go through it. Some people, they fall back, and they fall right back into the 9 to 5, the security and stability. And if you don't get nothing from this, like, break through those walls, break through those barriers, and like go forward. Like that's the only option if you want to be wildly successful. If not, you go ahead, go to the job. You can listen to our success on this podcast. Hopefully it'll give you the inspiration to be better than you were yesterday. But other than that, that's
All
that's,
right,
that's
so
really it. Oh, go ahead.
um, for the longest time, man, like when I started in network marketing,
Hmm.
I'm gonna teach y'all something that was really important for me to learn.
Let them know.
Always start with your why. Like, no matter which network marketing company I went to, no matter which entrepreneur buildership program, like whatever you want to call it, whatever you want to call it, because like every single time I got into one of those, I was like, yo, I can do this for myself. Why am I putting this much effort in for somebody else's program when I can do this for myself? Like, what am I doing here? So like for real, every single time I got into one, the first thing that they would say during one of their uh I guess you could call it like their trainings, like they're like because they did trainings like at every single team, and like training calls, and like webinars and all that other stuff like that, seminars, all that, like in person, everything, like every single time, like they always had this long drawn out conversation about your why, finding your why, and letting your why like display your passion. So it took me a long time to figure out my why. And they say that your why can't be selfish, and it can't be tied to money. And the money part makes sense because money is changing, ever changing. Like every single day, there's an influx, deflux on money. Like it rises and falls. The value of money rises and falls with every single day. And also, if you tie it to money, then you get money, and then all of a sudden your passion is done. Like it just doesn't make sense. It's almost like looking at the finish line while you running the marathon. Like you got to look past that joker. So look, like making your why about money is always a bad idea. Like no matter what you do. Like, and I thought at first, because I was broke, I need money, so make my why money. And what I ended up learning was that making your why about you is only a bad thing when you don't make your, how do I put this? I don't want to put this, I'm trying to say this correctly. When they say don't make your why about you, or don't make it selfish, I thought that was bad advice. I'm just gonna put it like that, because I was trying to make it about everybody else, but that's not how my brain works. I'm the provider and the protector, so I had to make it selfish. I had to make it about me, because if I made it about me, that would be the only way that I can make it about everybody else, if that make any sense. So like they said, like your why can't be selfish. So make it about your family members, your mom, your dad, your sister, brother, your wife, your husband, whatever the case is, your kids. I was like, yeah, I feel that, but like I ain't always feeling that. Like I hear you, but I ain't always feeling like that. So like what I'm always feeling like is I gotta get it. I got to make something happen so I can provide to everybody else. I'm always feeling like that. So, you had to, let me backtrack for a second. I'm going to tell you exactly why I'm always feeling that. Because I'm always in a position where I am looking around at my environment and wanting to do something to make it better. I'm always looking around at everything, every person around me, wondering how much would it take to make this person's life. And this is the selfish part, and I want everybody to catch this, because this is just how my brain works, and it works for me. And this is my driving factor, right? I'm always looking at every situation, every single person, and I'm always wondering what would I need to invest in this person in order to be more effective with this person.
Okay.
So whatever that amount is, I'm always analyzing that, and that's what my driving factor is. Because if oh man, I feel like we should be charging for this information right here. So yeah, I'm always analyzing that number, right? And that works for me, because that's just how I like how my brain works, how I analyze things, how I'm looking at certain situations. Because if a person is around me, like my wife, my daughter, like I like whatever the money that I need to invest in my daughter to make my daughter successful, and ultimately helps me out in the long run. But right now, I just don't have that. So that is my motivating factor, and I hope everybody is understanding that. But the thing is that you need to look at is what is your what is your driving factor in life. And you're going to hear that a lot. Like the more you study success as a whole, you're going to hear that. What's your why? Like, what is the reason that you get out of bed every morning? What is the reason that you work so hard? Why do you fight as hard as you do? And some people have sick children. Like, bro, that's a motivating factor. John Q, that's a motivating factor, fam.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know if y'all ever seen that movie, but my man's son had a heart disease and they put him on the waiting list. He said, your son cannot be treated. And he said, why? Is it because I'm black? No, sir, it's not because you're black. Oh, okay, so if it's not because I'm black, it's because I ain't got no money. All right, I got you. Watch this. That man shut down the whole hospital and said, bruh, I don't care if I go to jail. I don't care if you shoot me dead right now, but you going to operate on my son and you can give my son this new heart. Like it didn't matter. Like none of the other stuff mattered. None of the humanity driven efforts or things that people were saying to him actually mattered. That man didn't even care about what his wife was telling him. Y'all hear what I'm saying? Like this man was willing to die for this goal. This man was willing to go to jail for this goal. He committed a felony for this goal, this one goal of getting his son treated.
And we
Not
can't
every
even
situation is going to be that
deep.
serious, man.
Yeah.
It's not every situation going to be that serious, but that's the kind of mentality, that's the kind of drive that you need to have in order to follow the things that you are going for. I can't stand to know that there's real people. Like, first of all, I'm going to say this like this. John Q, though it wasn't us, it was, I don't think it happened like that, but it was kind of based on a true story. There are people every single day doing the same exact things or doing something similar to take care of their family members and their loved ones. Meanwhile, we got people who won't do nothing for themselves, won't do nothing for their loved ones, and still complaining about VTO at Amazon.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's wild. Because those are the exact same people that we see every day. Those are the friends, those are the family members, those are the people that make the world go
Oh yeah,
round because
I don't see them.
they're consumers and
I painted my eyeballs. I don't see them no more.
is
But that's the challenge too, though, Mark, because like these are people that I spent so much time around and built relationships with, just so I can just so I could just throw them away at the end.
mm,
Like it's a sickening feeling, bro. Like the fact that you moving forward and know that you can't take this person along with you because they so stuck in one single time zone.
yeah. It's it's something that we preach often, putting yourself in an environment where people are thriving, where people are being successful. Because if you, like Max said, if you're around those people 24/7, you're gonna end up like those people 24/7, complaining, uh, working a job, and this and that. I know these are people that you grew up with, you built bonds with, but like
Yeah.
they have their own path, and if they're not gonna walk it, that's not on you. That's not your fault. Uh, it, it is a weird feeling because, like, how does that work when you're in a relationship with that person, or that person has been a
Ooh.
big part of your life, or that person has gotten you through hard times, or you know.
Let me be the first to tell y'all it don't. Not for somebody who got dreams and goals, bro. It don't.
That's it right there. Like,
I'm just being real. Like it didn't
yeah,
work. It didn't work for me, bro. My goals were too big. Old girl said. Old girl said the trajectory that you see your life right now. I don't see me being a part of it. And I said, why? She said, because where you see yourself going, I don't see me being able to climb up that ladder with you.
oh wow,
The places that you see yourself going, the things you see yourself having, I don't know if I can do that.
I mean,
It
at
don't
least
work, y'all.
she came to that realization.
Yeah. Yeah, it
Oh,
don't work, y'all.
at least you had that. Some people They'll sabotage the
They'll
whole
pretend.
situation.
They'll
Yeah.
pretend. And I mean, for the most part, she pretended too. Like she, I was like, all right, so look, I understand that you said, and I tried to reason with her. I tried to level with her. I said, look, I understand that you don't feel that way now, but it's because you just haven't been exposed to anything outside. Like once you get exposed to this stuff and you see that these are just average everyday people that you're talking about, like because she was concerned about the people, the image, like where she came from, and all this other stuff. So she felt like because she was from a certain place and grew up in a trailer, grew up in a motel, and all that other stuff like that, she felt like she was going to always be there. So I was like, all right, bet. I understand that, but once you get exposed and you see that these people that you are putting on this such a high pedestal, once you see that these people are human just like you, all that's gonna change. I just need you to come with me. Like I get your concerns right now, but I just need you to come with me. But what it turns out was that I was leaving her behind mentally as well.
Mm.
I was outgrowing her. She was like a pair of shoes that you get when you're 7 years old. I had already walked that walk and I've already grew past that. I was already in the size 13 and I was trying to pull this 7 up with me. I was still trying to take the shoes with me like it was like Mike. And it's
Yeah.
hard, man, because no, hold up one second. It's hard because I was about to shut my whole goal down to stay with this person.
Mm.
Like I just want that to be clear. Like I was like for what is known now, the Aether universe is growing right now. It's constantly growing. There's so much happening right now, so much content in the Aether universe. And just understand the fact that at some point in my life, I was about to shut all that down to be with somebody that wasn't willing to grow.
Oh. Oh. Yeah. Yeah. And it's an interesting thing that we do, especially with people, loved ones, or whatever. We get stuck on the idea, or we get infatuated with the potential of that person, you know. And in most cases, we might see something that that person doesn't even see in themselves, and we can't make them be the person we believe them to be. They have to already be that person within. They have to already put in that effort, put in that time to do the things that they
But
want to do.
yeah, I'm about to say as long as they growing to be that, then that it's fine. But if I think what Mark is saying, like the people who have absolutely no agenda to become more,
Yeah.
like they're not reading, they're not growing, they're not going outside of the box, they're not breaking outside their comfort zone. He's talking about those people.
Yeah. When they cup gets full, they settle. They're like, all right, this is me forever. They don't pour it out and get new knowledge, video game reference. They cap out at that level, and they don't do
The
what it
level
takes
100.
to, yeah, and they don't do what it takes to either prestige or some games call it ascend. You ascend to a new level and start that process all over again of learning, of leveling up.
Oh,
Yeah.
nah. You know
What's
what I
up?
just thought about?
Mm,
All right, most games when you leveling up, they got the level up system, the RPG joints. Like
mm.
most games, you are capped out at level what?
Depends on the games. Some
It,
do 20, then you have to send, or some do 100, or
all right, so for the joints that we talking about 100% of human dominance. We're talking like 100% of success. We're talking about 100% of just in general, right? Just imagine y'all somebody, and I wish that most of our our fan base or anybody who's listening to this that you guys were Pokemon fans, because you would understand this even more, like, and you would understand the frustration. Imagine trying to fight Red on Pokemon Go with a level 10 Pokemon.
Mm.
But this level 10 Pokemon refuses to grow. It refuses to go to level 11. It refuses to evolve. Like, just imagine that. Like, you are literally going, like, you talking about people who going through life who's determined to stay to keep their level low. They refuse to go to level 100. They refuse to even try to go to level 100. They got to level 10 and was like, all right, cool, I'm good with this.
Yeah.
Like, they were just like, all right, cool, I'm done. That's life right there. And then they complained about the people at level 100, like the people at level 100 kept them from moving past level 10.
Yeah. Yeah. And it's this never ending phenomenon of people getting to a certain point in their life and just stopping. And we've mentioned this before, you know, the old guy that's trying to, you know, spit game to these youngsters. They still stuck in that time period of when they
Mm-hmm.
felt like they were successful, or you know, they or whatever point in life that they was on top. And I'm like, yo, what significance does that moment in you have in your life in this present day? Like, I'm talking about, cats be talking about that for years. Like, when I was younger, there's some cats that's still saying the same story, and
Yeah.
I'm an old adult now. I'm past where they were at. What time period they talking about? We done got past that. We done got things that made that moment pretty much insignificant. Like, we got machines now that can do that twice as 10 times as fast or whatever, you know. And it's wild how they get stuck in that moment, and nothing else can push them forward, or, you know, just top that for them. Like, nothing else seems to be a better option but to constantly remind people about that day or about that moment. It's like you miss out on so much more of life
Yeah.
being stuck there, being stuck in this lifestyle that majority of the world is in. Like, you know, not to really put that man's business out there, but, you know, I had a coworker, and he was feeling a little down
He
because he
don't
was
listen to
missing.
nothing. He don't listen to success podcasts anyway, so it don't matter.
He do. He tried to listen to the podcast, but we're gonna talk about you a little bit, man. Because it happens to everyone. You know, we're missing key moments of our kids' life, or, you know, they had a world award ceremony recently, and some people couldn't make it. The job said, "No, you have to be here," or you couldn't take time off to enjoy the accomplishments of your kids, your family, your legacy, that legacy that you trying to start, that lifestyle of success that you're trying to get to.
You said that
Bump
shit
all
like it was
that.
an isolated incident. My bad. Like he going through what most of America going through right now,
Yeah,
man.
that's what I'm saying. Like, it's happening around the world. People are missing out on key moments of just life in general because of a job, because of they don't have the financial freedom. They don't have the mentality to be okay with working the minimum so they can put 100% in their own thing to have those freedoms, those luxuries, those anything that they want. People ain't on that. People are like, yo, I gotta go hard for this job. I gotta put in 10,000 plus hours in a week to get to where I want to be in life, to have the money to plant a seed, to have the whatever freedoms to take a vacation. You know?
Or you end up in this situation where you on the seesaw. You in the corporate America seesaw. Every one moment you trying to do good at work because you trying to get a promotion, and the next moment you back at square one. Fuck this job mentality. And you get to work and you like, man, if I could do X, Y, Z, I can do this, I can do that, I can do this. You coming up with all these ideas. By the time you get off, you don't see none of it. You get back to work again. You got all these ideas again, and you wondering what you could do to get out of this certain situation because you hate your job, you hate your boss, you hate your dumbass coworkers, and then by the time you get off, you don't even think about it. You on a seesaw. You going up and down all day long, and until you find the determination to get out of that situation, you're going to always be on that same ride. You on the seesaw right now, and you don't even realize that you got a padlock on your lap holding you to that thing, and you are constantly going. You looking in the eyes of the person across the seesaw from you. You thinking that they on that joint with you, but in all reality, it's a image of yourself, and they don't have a lock on their lap. That's you watching you waste your life going up and down on the same ride the entire time.
Jeez,
now, it's not going to be a lot of people that catch that, but I am speaking from experience when I say that. I am coming from a place where I was on that. I became a supervisor. I wanted to become a supervisor at my last job with no desire of doing it. I put in effort and time to grow into a position that I didn't even want. I said that I was going to work at that job for 3 months tops, make enough money to live in my car, go to California and pursue a career in acting and producing. 2 months and 2 months and 9 days into that plan, I meet my wife and decided that I was just going to stick around and see how that goes. Granted, that was the best decision I could have made because I don't think I could have found a better person who can put up with my shit as I try to achieve success. Because, we see what happened to the last one. She couldn't handle it. She was just like, that don't fit me. Meanwhile, my current wife was like, yeah, like,
let's do it.
I know that you're going to make it. Like, I see in your spirit that you're going to make it. I'm just wondering if you're going to be putting up with my ass by the time you get there. And I'm like, boo, come on now. Come on.
Yeah.
So, man, I don't know. I don't know if there's anything that we could actually say other than you got to have a desire to live. Like, if you don't have a desire to live, like you of course you're not going to want to do these things. Of course you're not going to want to thrive in life. You're not going to want to move forward. You're not going to want to create anything. Of course you're not going to want that because you don't have a desire to live. You don't want to live. And it is sickening to me how many people in this world don't have a desire to live. You just want to exist. That's the sickening part to me. Is that I can ask the question about like, yo, why do we do this every day? And everybody around me is just like, yep, man, because we need this money, man. We need this money, man. Gotta pay these bills, man.
Thanks.
My check wasn't big enough last week, man. They don't pay us enough, man. Like, what is this? It almost feel like the Twilight Zone. I told Alyssa a few weeks ago, man. Actually, it was last week. I said, man, like I feel like I'm insane.
Mm.
And she said, why? Because I feel like every single time I had these goals of wanting to do something bigger with my life, everybody else around me is looking at me like, yo, you need stability. You can't do that because it's not stable. You can't be an entrepreneur because entrepreneurs don't make no money at the beginning. We tripping about the beginning?
Yeah.
I, I, wow. I sat down with my aunt and uncle recently, and me and Alyssa told them our plans for the future, and they were just like, wow, like y'all really thinking about doing that? It's like
Mm.
we thinking about doing it. We doing this shit. And they were just like, but like, let me give you a little caution. I was like, oh, here we go. Here we go. And they will try to talk us out of it. And I was just like, in a normal situation, I told Alyssa, this is why I feel crazy, because like in a normal situation where somebody somebody says something like that to another person, like they would just be like, okay, yeah, you're right. I guess I'm not doing this anymore. But me on the other hand, I'm like, yo, it just made me want to work harder.
Mm.
Like as they were giving us the word of caution, I turned around and started working because the only emotion that I had was determination. And that was the determination to prove them wrong. Like we ain't no slouches out here. We can get this done. So I'm gonna let you go in, Mark, because you know me.
I was just agreeing with you. I was like, yeah, because it's invigorating to have those moments where like when the odds are stacked against you, literally stacked against you, and you come out the other end successful, unscathed, whatever, it brings a certain joy to people. I'm not saying make your goals around, proving people wrong, but just going for your goals in general proves people wrong. Like it's inevitable. Like people know the people around us know so little that the slightest accomplishment of doing better, of doing something creative is just like shocking. Like coming up to somebody that can look at an image and recreate it, look at a situation, environment, or whatever, and recreate it is magical to people. Like they can't do the same, and it's weird that we psych ourselves out because we feel like our gifts or our talents is insignificant, and it's like people can't do what we can do. And we look at that, we feel like that is insignificant. Like we don't act on it, we don't do nothing with that.
Yeah, man. Like I just I'm gonna give y'all a word of caution right now. Just because you got family members who gonna try to talk you out of your goals. But listen to your coach here. I'm going to talk you out of your family members. I'm going to talk you out of that significant other that you have that don't believe in anything but working paycheck to paycheck and staying stable. I'm going to talk you out of your family, your previous family legacy of not doing anything with their lives. I want to talk you out of listening to your boss when your boss say, you got potential here, I believe in you, and if you work hard enough, you can be a manager just like me one day. I want to talk you out of all of that. Listen to this, right? You got a passion. I don't care who you are. You're passionate about something. Anybody who's listening to this, you're passionate about something. I don't know what it is. Maybe at the moment you don't know what it is. I didn't even know what it was until I was almost 30, y'all. I was working on something for 15 years, didn't even realize that I was passionate about it. And somebody was like, "Oh, you still doing that? Oh, I thought you stopped doing that because you started doing this, and then you started doing this." I wouldn't imagine that you were still doing that. You can't be passionate about what you say you're passionate about because you ain't been doing that for long, and then you about to stop this, but you still doing this that you were doing 9 years ago. You still doing that, man? It didn't even dawn on me. I was like, oh, it clicked. When it clicked, I was like, yo, maybe that's what I'm passionate about. Maybe that's the thing here. Like, all right, so open your eyes and pay attention to the things that your mind is doing. Mm-hmm. And what I warned you guys not to do is to let corporate America tell you that you're not passionate about the things that you're passionate about. Because there are going to be some times where your current reality doesn't fit the things that you want to do. Now, this is not the first thing. Writing is not the first thing that I've been passionate about. It's just the thing that lasted the longest. Mm-hmm. Corporate America just happened to kill all the rest of it. So, with caution, I say stop talking and work. You had to be determined to do something. You had to be motivated to do something. And whatever that something is completely up to you. I can't teach that. You can't teach that. So stop looking externally for things to find your passion, because your passion is within you. But determination happens because of you. Determination is something that you are. Like, you had to be determined to reach a certain goal in life. You guys heard me say that my why is to be a provider for others. My why is to be that person that is responsible for creating other people's success. Why? Because I'm selfish and their success is going to help me. I'm just throwing it out on the table like that. If I can help somebody else become successful, it makes my life easier. It doesn't serve me at all to keep somebody else from their success. Doesn't at all. Like, I don't benefit from that. So I want to be successful so I can make other people around me successful, because other people, if they're going to be in my presence, then they need to be successful too. That's my why. So my why motivates me to keep moving, because I don't plan on stopping. I don't plan to stop until I've reached a certain destination in my life. And I don't care how long it's going to take. I'm going to be 50 something years old trying to fight for the same destination. I promise you I am. If I don't make it before then I promise you I'm going to be 50 something years old, 60. And George R. Martin is 75 years old right now, y'all. When the Game of Thrones came out in 2014, I want to say it was, that man was already old. And I promise y'all, I just looked up George R. R. Martin, and that man was releasing books back in the 90s.
Come on.
It took him that long to get it, bro. Like, it took him that long to get there. So what is within me saying that if I don't get there within a year, then I'm gonna quit? So use that determination to fight through, man. Use it to motivate you. Somebody told me, well, I recently heard that motivation is when your dream put on work clothes. When I heard it slapped me across the face, because I was like, Yo, that's wild, bro. Like I, I never thought of it that way, but it's true. The and I got the definition of motivation pulled up right here. It said the reason or reasons one has for acting or behaving in a particular way. What does that sound like? Yo, why? So once you get your why under control and you focus on the things that you need to do in life, the things that you want to do and what the outcome is, bro, you'll be able to get there no problem. ET said, "What if you if you
Want to
if you
succeed.
want success, if you want to succeed as bad as you want to breathe, then you'll be successful." So what's stopping you from being motivated to be successful? Like I'm not asking you what's stopping you from getting successful. I'm asking you what's stopping you from becoming motivated to be successful. Because once you start, oh man, that's a whole. That's a whole episode right there. I feel like that's a whole episode. What's stopping you from being motivated to become successful? And some of y'all aren't even motivated to do it. You don't even care to do it. So what's stopping you from becoming motivated to be successful? And once you figure that part out, success is going to come.
Just that easy. All right. Good.
We are good.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, y'all have heard it here. This has been the Dirty Trunk Podcast with Elephant is always welcome. It's me, your boy Marcus Morton. Always here with me is the Aaron Mack. Before we go, please trample over that like and subscribe button because we do this for y'all because we love y'all and we just want to give y'all the motivation to be better than y'all were yesterday. And always remember that those who shy away from addressing the elephant in the room are doomed to be crushed by the weight of it. We love y'all.
Peace. Love y'all. See y'all next week.